Put on your coffee mug, roll out another mat for your teenager or for your partner, turn on some music and join me for some yoga. Come to the top of the mat, finding your mountain pose. Big toes touching, here's the centimeter apart. Lengthen through the crown of the head, arms by your side. Take an inhale, raise your arms, palms touching, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift, exhale, step back, down dog. Pedal your feet a few times. Release both of your heels down. Come forward into plank, place your knees down, you're in all fours. Cat and cow, point your toes. Inhale, raise your hips, drop your belly, lift your chest, look forward. Exhale, round your back, chin to chest. Again, inhale, you're arching. Exhale, rounding. One more each. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, neutral position. Sternum drops. Sternum drops is something else. You're collapsing into the sternum. Press the floor away. Collapse and press. Collapse and press. Two more. Collapse. Press the floor away from you. One more. Collapse and press. Cat and cow again, just so you see the difference. So on an inhale, you raise your hips, drop your belly, lift the chest, look forward, and exhale, round your back. Lift and arch, and exhale, round. One more each. Lift and round. Neutral position from here. Press the floor away from you, step back with your right leg, step back with your left leg into plank pose. Come from plank into downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. Then slowly walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Have your knees bent. Get hold of your opposite elbows. Press your feet down. Slowly roll up into a standing position. And release your arms by your sides. Let's get started properly. Inhale, raise. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down. Bend the elbows. No more than 90 degrees. Holding here. Ribs together, tailbone is long. Point your toes. Engage your glutes. Lift up into a back bend. So now the hips come down, but the glutes are engaged. And from there, coming into a downward facing dog. And again, come forward into a plank. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down. Stay here. You're one straight line from the crown of the head to the knees. Point your toes. Bend the elbows backwards. Engage your glutes. Now you release the hips down, but the hips are still hovering, coming into a back bend. And from there, downward facing dog. One more. Come forward into a plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward. Place your knees down. Bend the elbows backwards. No more than 90 degrees. Point your toes. Lift up. Inhale and exhale. Downward facing dog. Stay here and breathe for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Look towards your hands, step, walk, hop. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, palms touching, Samasthiti here, exhale. Inhale, raise, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift, exhale, step back, plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Come into all fours. Lower down your knees onto the mat. Ribs together. Tailbone is long. Extend your right arm forward. Extend your left leg back. Lift both up, not too high. Ribs together. Tailbone stays long. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Release, other side. Extend, lift, hold here. Not too high with the arm or the leg for 3, 2, and 1. Both hands down. Tuck your toes under. Come into your downward facing dog. Plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down. Bend the elbows. Lift up. Inhale and exhale. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Look towards your hands. Step, walk, or hop forward. Lengthen, lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, palms touching. And exhale, Samasthiti. Again, inhale, raise. And exhale, fold. Bend your knees so your fingers are on the mat. Lengthen, lift, everything is straight. Step back, bend your knees for that into plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down. Bend the elbows backwards. Lift up, inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Come forward again into your plank pose. Bring your feet wider. If you're taking it easier, you place your knees down or give it a go. Extend your right arm forward and then lift your left leg up, hold. Keep your balance for 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Left arm forward, lift, and then maybe your right leg comes up. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Hand and foot comes down. Downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. And from down dog, bend your knees, look towards your hands, step or hop forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, palms touching. And exhale, Samasthiti here, arms by your side. Inhale, raise. And exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. Come into a plank pose again, and then bring your right knee into your chest, then your left knee. Keep going, so you're walking slowly here. And for 2 more. 1 more. Downward facing dog. Hold here and breathe. For 2 more. And 1. Bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk, hop. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, palms touching, Samasthiti here. Inhale, raise, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift, exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders forward, knees down, bend the elbows. Lift up, inhale, and exhale, downward facing dog. Again, coming into a plank pose. So you can repeat one knee towards the chest, then the other one. And in English we say, maybe if you want to speed it up, please, you can do that. Only if you like. In German we say, zack, zack, for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Well done. Good, let's do a little bit of hip opening. Take your right foot outside your right hand. Rock forwards and backwards a few times. So stay here, back leg is straight. For 2 more. And 1. Step back, down dog. Other side. So left foot outside your left hand. Back leg is straight. Rocking forwards and backwards a few times. Hold here. For 2 more. And 1. Step back, downward facing dog. Raise your right leg up. Bend your knee. Lift your knee towards the ceiling. So your right heel comes towards your left butt cheek. Release your left heel down towards the mat. So you're stacking your hips on top of each other, holding here. Then we take the right foot outside the right hand again. Step it forward. This time lower down your back knee onto the mat. You can have your toes tucked under or point. Up to you. Holding here. If you want to go deeper, you can place your forearms onto the mat. If you choose to do that, make sure the inner edge of your foot is pressed down and the knee doesn't come to the side. So keep the knee squeezed in. Hold here and breathe. For 3 more. 2. And 1. Come up onto your hands. Take your right hand, place it against the right knee. Toes turning out. Gently push that knee to the side. Add a twist, straightening out your right arm. Look behind you over your right shoulder. And if you want to go even deeper, you can reach behind you for the outer edge of your left foot. Take the outer edge, not the inner edge. Hold here for 3. 2, and 1. Gently, gently release. Hand comes down. Stay here, the knee still to the side. You can hold with the hands on the mat, or again, you can come onto your forearms. So it's different from the previous one. The foot was pressed down and the knee was next to the shoulder. This time you're maybe on the outer edge of your foot and the knee is to the side. Hold here. And then come up onto your hands again. Back toes tucked under. Bring your foot down, so right foot down. Lift your left knee up, step back, downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Take a moment to feel the difference between your left and your right side. Then flow through Vinyasa. Come into a plank pose, shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Lift up into a back bend and downward facing dog. Other side. The hips are high. Raise your left leg up, bend your knee and open your hips. Holding here, I'm just trying my plants. Holding here, release your right heel down. Lift your left knee as high as you can. And then we place the foot outside the hand. So left foot comes outside your left hand, toes turn out slightly, lower down your right knee onto the mat. You can stay here on your hands or you fold forward. Coming onto your forearms, hold here. If you do that, pay special attention to your foot, so the inner edge of your left foot presses down and the knee squeezes in, yeah, so you don't collapse to the side. Hold here for 3 more, 2, and 1. Come up onto your hands. Take your left hand, place it against the left knee, toes turned out, gently push the knee to the side. Okay, so you can stay here, adding a twist, straightening out your arm, or you reach behind you, catch the outer edge of your right foot, make it the outer edge, as you're not rounding forward here. The chest is open. Hold and breathe for 3 more, 2, and 1. Release your foot, place your hand down. So your left knee is still to the side. You can stay here or come into your forearms. Okay. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up onto your hands. Back toes tucked under, lift the knee up. Your left foot is coming down and then step back into downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. Come forward into a plank, flow through Vinyasa. Shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Upward facing dog. Inhale and downward facing dog on your exhale. Look towards your hands, step, walk or hop your feet forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale, exhale, fold forward. Stay here. Have your feet parallel to each other, so toes come in just a little bit. And you have about 2 fists between your feet. Either take your ankle or your big toes, middle index finger and thumb. So have your 2-piece fingers inside your big toe. And the thumb gets hold of the big toe from the outside. Folding forward, relax your neck, start to bend your elbows sideways. Pull yourself deeper into your forward fold. Raise your hips as high as you can, holding here for 3 more, 2, and 1. Lengthen, lift, hands on the mat, step back into downward facing dog. Lower down your knees, have your toes tucked under, bring your little toes facing forward and then stay here. We will do a plank pose. You choose, you can be on your forearms if you like, if your wrists are hurting. You can have your knees down or you join me with the knees up, okay? So I know most of you will want to do knees up, good. All right, so let's get ready. So press your hands down, step back into plank pose. And we hold here, hold, 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 okay? Let me check on you. So some of you, it looks like you're hiding some chocolate underneath your hands. Yes, you're arching here. Don't do that. Squeeze the chocolate, press it down, melt the chocolate. So the whole of the hand is pressing down, especially this little area between your index finger and your thumb. Holding here. Some of you are collapsing into the sternum. Try not to. Press the floor away from you. And what's with your head? If your head is hanging, I know it's a heavy thing, still lift it up. It's not that heavy. If you're sticking your bum out, it looks good. However, root your tailbone down because I can't actually see you. Yeah. Holding here. Ooh, are your hips slowly coming down? Don't. Lift them up. Very nice. Hold here. So you're one straight line from the crown of the head to the heels. You're doing so well. Only 2 more minutes and then we're done. Oh my God, did half of you just stop? Holding here. We're not actually going to do 2 more minutes because I'm not sure I could do 2 more minutes. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down your knees, sit on your heels, shake your arms out, shake your wrists. That was good. And then come back into your downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. And from down dog, bend your knees, look towards your hands, step, walk or hop forward. Lengthen, lift, inhale and exhale, fold. So stay here again. Take your arms behind your legs and get hold of your opposite elbows. Now shift the weight forward slightly. If you're going to fall, don't do that. You have your hands on the mat. However, if you have the balance, you shift the weight forward. Now start to raise your hips up. So you're pressing your legs into your arms. Hold here for 5, 4, neck relaxed, 3, 2, and 1. Bend your knees, place your hands down, step back into your downward facing dog. Now walk your feet a little bit further forward so they're halfway down the mat. Have your toes turned out. Donkey hops. If you don't want to do that, you raise one leg up and then the other leg. Yeah? Or you start to shift the weight forward, releasing the heels down. You can do some of those. However, if you want to get your heart rate up a little bit, then you jump. So your knees are wide as you jump and you kick yourself in the butt. We all need that at times, don't we? So lift and jump. 4, 3 more, 2, 1, and then come back into your downward facing dog. Pedal your feet a few times. And then this time, first let's lower down the knees. Shake your wrists out. Have a little break here. And then we do another round of maybe jumping. Okay? Place your hands on the mat. Come up into your downward facing dog. Walk your feet a little bit further forward. This time it's bunny hops. So in donkey hops, the knees are wide and the toes turn out. In bunny hops, the toes are facing forward and the knees face forward as well as you jump. It could just be a tiny jump if you like, yeah? Or you just think about it, you shift the weight forward. Or you go for it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Slowly walk your feet forward towards your hands. Relax your head down. Get hold of your opposite elbows. Sway from side to side. Catch your breath. Keep your knees bent. Release your hands. Slowly come rolling up into standing position. Good. Let's do some standing postures. Have your hands on your hips. Warrior 1 stance. So step back with your left foot. Have your left toes facing forward. Your right leg is bent. Stance doesn't have to be super wide. Yeah? Feet on train tracks. Remember that, please. So your hips are facing forward. So maybe draw your right hip back a little bit more. Good. Holding here. Now straighten out your front leg. We start with the pyramid. Forward fold. So lengthen here. Inhale. Both legs are straight. On your exhale, you fold forward. Keep your hands on your hips for now. Look towards your right big toes. Press the inner edges of your foot down. And then draw the hip back. Good. So right hip draws back. Holding here. And then maybe you release your fingertips on the mat. Keep lifting through the sternum. If you feel you're rounding the back as you do that, maybe place your hands on your shins instead. Or keep your hands on your hips. For 3 more. 2. And 1. Come up. Good. Now keep your right hand on your right hip. Extend your left arm up. So same thing. You're reaching forward. Both legs are straight. However, this time you're adding a twist. Place your left hand on your right shin.
Start to twist, twist, twist. If you want to slide your hand a little bit further down, do that. Holding here, or your right arm comes up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Look down, hand goes on your hip again, and then slowly come up into a standing position. Bend your front leg, start to shift the weight forward. Raise your back leg up. Folding forward, slowly, slowly. Warrior 3. Flex your back foot. Drop your left hip down. So hips are as square as you can. So I know this is super hard. Now take your arms next to your ears. Hold for 3 more. 2, standing splits. Both hands come down. Raise your back leg up. You can point your toes and half open the hips, but not too much. Hold here for 3 more. 2. And then with control, on 1, you're stepping back into warrior 1. So take a step back, take your arms up. Good. Straighten out your front leg. Pivot your feet around to the other side. So hips face forward. So maybe draw your left hip back a little bit. Front leg is bent, back leg is straight, and your back toes face forward. So stance is not too wide. And holding here. So this is your warrior 2 stance. Now straighten out your front leg. Hands stay on your hips. Inhale, on your exhale, fold forward with a straight back. Holding here. Press the inner edge of your left foot down. At the same time, draw the left hip back. And then if you like, you can place your fingertips on the mat. But keep lengthening through the sternum. Hold here. And then slowly, slowly come back up. Place your left hand on your left hip. Right arm up. Inhale and exhale. Reach forward. Place your hand on your shin or further down. Start to twist. Either hold here or take the arm up. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Look down and then slowly come up. Bring your feet parallel to each other. Turn your toes out. Bend your knees. Bend your knees a little bit more. A little bit more. Bring your feet a bit wider. Tailbone is long. Interlace your hands. Take your arms up. Flip your palms. Holding here. Go deep. Hold for 5. Knees and toes face in the same direction approximately. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back up and release your hands. Good. Turn your left toes forward slightly. So they're facing towards 9 or 10 o'clock. Right toes face forward towards 12. And then bend your front leg. So actually bring your stance a little bit wider for warrior 2. Holding here. And then bend your right elbow. Place your elbow onto the thigh. The other arm comes up and over your ear. Now draw your left shoulder back, so away from your ear. If your right shoulder is coming forward, like it is with me, draw the shoulder back. Keep your front leg bent. Make sure your knee and your toes are still facing in the same direction. Holding here, bend your front leg deep, back leg is straight. And look down, come up, straighten out your front leg. Shorten your stance, both legs are straight. Triangle pose. So we will practice the hinging bit 3 times. So lengthen, inhale. On your exhale, you hinge. And then come up again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinge. And come up. One more. This time we're going to go down. Inhale. Exhale, hinge. And then lower down your arms. Holding here. Gazes up. One straight line with your arms for 3 more. 2, and 1. Look down, come up. Place both of your hands on your hips. Bend your front leg a little bit. Take a little step in between. Okay. Now start to shift the weight into your right leg. Lift your left foot up, up, up. Good. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. Holding here. And bend your leg. Straighten it and come back down. We will add on to that. Shift the weight into your right leg. Start to come up into your balancing pose. Good. Raise the leg a little bit higher. Hips are stacked. Whoa. Don't lose your balance. Release your right hand down. Now bend your left leg. Catch your foot. Press your foot into your hands. You're adding a little bit of a back bend here. Stretching the front of your leg. Hold here. And then step back again and release. Hands on your hips. One more time so you can stick with the first or the second variation. If you want to do the full one, you come into a half moon pose. Yeah? And maybe do this variation with the hand. So look down. Start to shift the weight forward. Take your right hand onto the mat. Diagonal from your right foot. Take the other arm up towards the ceiling. Raise your back leg more. It comes as high as possible. You can stay here or you catch your foot and then press the foot into the hand, opening the chest. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Release. Hands on your hips. Bring your feet parallel to each other. So stance isn't too wide here. That's all right. Bend your knees. Fold forward, place your fingertips on the mat. Take your right arm up towards the ceiling, holding here, stack your shoulders and your arms. Lift comes from the chest, not from the arm, yeah? So you don't want to throw the arm back. And release, switching sides. Take your arm up, hold here, and release. Come up again, place your hands on your hips. Now turn your left toes forward, maybe widen your stance, and the back toes turn towards 2 or 3 o'clock, so not later than that. Bending your front leg, so you're in your warrior 2. Holding here. Now bend your left arm, place your elbow onto the thigh, the other arm comes up and over your ear. Now draw the shoulder back. Yeah, so you're not reaching, you're drawing the shoulder back. Your arm is straight, and you're engaged all the way into your fingertips. Your left shoulder doesn't collapse forward. It stays away from the ear. Bend your front leg. Your knee and your toes face in the same direction. Back leg is straight and engaged. Holding here. And then look down. Come up. Good. Place your hands on your hips for a moment. Shorten your stance. Prepare for triangle pose. Extend your arms forward. Remember, you practice the hinging. Lengthen, inhale. On your exhale, hinge. It's my favorite thing to hinge. I know. Lengthen and hinge. Come up again. One more. This time we're going to go down, lengthen and hinge, and then slowly lower down into your triangle pose. Holding here. Gazes up if you can. If not, look forward. Hold here for 3 more. 2 and 1. Look down. Coming up, place your hands on your hips, bend your front leg slightly. So we'll do our balancing poses. So take a little step in between. Shift the weight into your left leg. Start to raise your right leg up. Good. So balancing on the left, it's a little bit harder for me, so I better look down. So looking down is just easier for balance, yeah? Raise the back leg a little bit higher. Bend the knee briefly. Whoa. Release and come back. Okay. All right, so we're going to add on to that. So shift the weight, raise your leg, release your left hand down, lift the back leg, bend your knee, catch your foot, holding here. For 3, 2, and 1. Step back. Okay. So remember, you can repeat A or B, or you do the full thing. So start to shift the weight forward. Place your left hand onto the mat, diagonally from your left foot. Raise your back leg up. Take your right arm up as well. You can stay here, keep looking down, or you bend your knee, or if you find your foot, take your foot and then press the foot into the hand, opening the chest, holding here for 3, 2, and 1. And then slowly come up. Well done. Place your hands on your hips, bring your feet nice and wide, toes turned in. Lengthen, lift, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Place your fingertips on the mat. Walk them back so they're in line with your toes. Lengthen here, inhale, exhale, fold forward. So crown of the head can go onto the mat or towards the mat. If your head is down, you do your tripod headstand. Yeah, that's what it's called. Don't feel like you have to. Okay, but I know some of you like to do that tripod headstand, so please do that. Or you just stay here, neck relaxed. Elbows are bent backwards. And remember, don't hide anything underneath your palms. So press the whole of the hand down. So I can't right now, but if you're lifting your hands up, I usually come around and threaten to step on you. I don't actually. Lengthen, lift, inhale, hands on your hips. Sorry, if you're in a tripod headstand, come down and then slowly come up. Samasthiti, step to the top of the mat. Arms by your side. Whew. Take an inhale, raise your arms, palms touching, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Bring your shoulders forward, place your knees down, lower all the way onto your belly. Point your toes. Bring your hands maybe a little bit further back. Elbows bent backwards, shoulders away from the ears. And then lift up, low cobra, medium cobra, up into high cobra, into an upward facing dog. So in up dog, your hips are off the mat, and then also raise your thighs and your knees up. Now it's especially important that you do not collapse into the shoulders, so press the floor away from you. If you're hypermobile in your elbows, unlock them. Press the whole of the hand down. So again, don't hide anything there. Holding here, glutes engaged, gazes forward, don't raise your eyebrows. And then slowly lower down your knees and lower all the way onto your belly. Reach behind you with your hands, bending your knees and catching your feet. Bring your knees a little bit closer towards each other. Then stay down with your chest. Start to bend the elbows sideways. Pubic bone is pressing down, and bring your heels towards your hips. So you feel the stretch in the front of your legs. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. If you've had enough, you come out of the pose and stay laying down. Or if you like, you can lift, lift, lift into back bend, raising your knees, raising your thighs. Chest comes up as well. Hold here for 3, 2, and 1. Place your hands next to the chest. Press yourself up. Come into all fours. Round your back, chin to chest. Neutral position. So pretty much all of my classes I do a squat. So let's do a squat now. Place your feet kind of outside your hands and sink your hips down. Place your palms together, press your elbows against your inner thighs, holding here. Squatting position. For 3 more. 2 and 1. One more vinyasa. Place your hands onto the mat. Step or hop back into plank, shoulders forward, bend the elbows. Upward facing dog. Inhale and downward facing dog. On your exhale, come into a seated position with the legs straight. So either jump through or lower down your knees. Come sitting down. Bend your knees. Get hold of the outer edges of your feet. And start to round your back. Pull on the outer edges of your feet. Bring your chin towards the chest. Holding here. So you should feel a strong stretch between the shoulder blades. Should feel nice. Also in your back. Holding here.
And then slowly, slowly, so if you're still holding on to the outer edges of your feet, you lift the chest up again. So your back is straight. Hold here. And then again, you're rounding. Round, chin to chest. Pull on the outer edges of your feet. And then slowly we come into a lift again. So chest is lifted, back is straight. You can stay here, or if you like, you can straighten out your legs. Hold here, gaze towards your big toes. Pull the outer edges of your feet towards you still. For 3 more. 2. And 1. Release. Point your toes. Place your hands behind you. Zip your legs together. Lift up. Holding here. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower down. Bend your knees slightly. Place your feet flat on the mat. Walk your hands a little bit further forward, so they're kind of next to the hips. Now lift your hips up and then bring your hips between your hands, rounding your upper back. And again, lift. Bring your hips between your hands, rounding your upper back, raising your hips as high as you can. And 1 more like this. And round, and then release, placing your hips down. So I'm going to swing my legs around. Bring your legs wide. So extend them to the side. Take your hands behind you, scooch forward a little bit, and then stay here. Flex and point your toes. And then flex your feet. So if it's challenging enough to sit like this, stay here, press your hands behind you into the mat and bring your chest forward. So you're puffing out the chest a little bit, yeah? Okay. However, if you want to fold forward, you can fold forward. Try to keep your back straight today. Holding here, don't overdo it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back up. Walk your hands over towards one leg, doesn't matter which one. Inhale and exhale, fold over that leg. Hold here. Try and have your torso centered over that leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up over to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Fold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come up. Inhale and exhale. Fold forward again. Hold here. Maybe you can go a little bit deeper. Reach your hands forward or catch the outer edges, inner edges of your feet, not the outer edges. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back up. Good. Bend your knees, cross your legs. Place your hands onto the knees. Lengthen here, inhale, and exhale, we twist. So take one hand behind you, the other hand goes onto the opposite knee, and twist. Holding here. And bring your gaze forward. Rotate towards the other side. Lengthen here, inhale, and exhale, twist. And come back to the center. Inhale. And exhale, round your back. Inhale, lifting up again. Place your palms together in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Gently blink your eyes open. I'm going to leave you now. If you want to do Shavasana, please do so in your own time. Thank you so much. I'm going to see you soon, I hope. Thank you.